to another episode of Igniting Hope Radio. I am one of your hosts, Sherman Webb Middlebrooks, a lifelong Buffalo resident and full-time black man, and we are coming to you live on the airwaves of YouTube, live on the Facebook channel, and we are live here at Canisius College in our new podcast studio. I'm joined by our very first guest. We got the good brother Dr. Skylar Lawson here with us on set. Doc, tell them a little bit about yourself, and about your background.
Sure. So I'm Dr. Skylar Lawson. I'm with No Menthol Buffalo, and but I'll go into that a little bit more later. But my background, so I have a bachelor's in psychology, master's in psychology, and a PhD in public health.
Awesome.
And I have a big interest in research related to tobacco cessation or
Okay.
tobacco control policy. Just finding ways to help people quit.
Cool. And so, like, how did you get involved in that like work? So you said that you have a background in psychology,
hmm
and then you also have your PhD in public health. So how did all of that lend you to doing work, with banning menthol related products in the city of Buffalo?
Yeah. It started back in my undergrad college career. Because after I completed my bachelor's in psychology, I wanted to do a clinical psychology program. So I applied to a bunch of programs throughout the U.S. and the only one that accepted me was in the University of Buffalo, but it was as a master's student. And the person I happened to be paired with was a professor who studied tobacco use.
Okay.
And he had a study going on. It was a randomized clinical trial looking at whether or not given people who smoke a medication called Chantix earlier than the standard regimen, if that would actually lead to greater quit rates. An issue that we had while running the study was we didn't have a lot of recruitment of black participants.
Hmm.
So I was interested in trying to change that. So I reached out to an organization in Buffalo called CAI, Cicatelli
Okay.
Associates
Yep. I'm
Yep,
familiar.
Incorporated. Yep. And that's when I was connected with Stan Martin because at the time then Stan Martin was the director of that organization,
Yep. Yep.
and we formed a partnership and we still work together to this day on tobacco related issues. So it was that, and also too having a chance to go to conferences that were focused on tobacco and meeting other black researchers who focused on tobacco use in the black community was another thing that inspired me to go this direction with
Awesome.
No Menthol Buffalo.
Okay, cool, cool. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, so I didn't really know your background. That's actually how we met,
hmm
with the work that you're doing with like No Menthol Buffalo and the good brother Stan, Stan the man. Shout out to him. So I know recently, y'all had a bunch of events. So I know I seen you at the poetry mix that they
hmm
had. There was a bingo night as
hmm
well. So y'all really out here getting the word out about the need to ban menthol in the city of Buffalo. So why is it so important? Why menthol? And why are we trying to get the Common Council to do something about
Yeah, I mean, menthol is important because flavors make tobacco more appealing to youth and also just harder to quit. There's been multiple research studies that have shown that people who smoke menthol cigarettes compared to non-menthol cigarettes have a harder time quitting, even though they make more quit attempts.
it? Mm,
And it's a big issue racially because about 85% of black people who smoke menthol cigarettes. About 65% of Hispanic and Latinx people smoke menthol cigarettes. And also a large portion of the LGBTQIA population also smoke menthol cigarettes disproportionately when compared to white Americans who smoke.
wow.
Yep.
And so you were talking to like about a lot about smoking. So my background, pretty much everybody in my family like smoked and smoked menthols.
hmm
Um, but like I work with a lot of young people,
Right.
and like young people like aren't really smoking, like they're
hmm
vaping more.
hmm
So like, does the menthol ban only address cigarettes, or does it address like vapes too?
It would also address like other flavored tobacco products too, like some flavored vapes. Also, another thing that some youth still do use, and a lot of black youth in particular, is little cigars like Swisher Sweets, Black and Milds.
Okay.
Those also have flavors, and they're
Okay.
heavily promoted in black communities, and they're cheap.
Right.
They're not taxed at the same rate as cigarettes.
Ah. Okay.
And even if you're using them, say for example, a popular way to use them is to add cannabis to them.
Yeah.
You're still getting the nicotine, you're still getting the harmful effects, and it's just as deadly as cigarettes.
Got you. Okay, so didn't know that. So folks out there, like if you thought just because you hollowed out your Swisher's sweet
hmm
or your whatever that it was, and you took out the cheap tobacco, you still smoking out of a tobacco leaf. So the more you know, you can mitigate some of your health risks out here in these streets. I didn't know that. So it's all like all flavored tobacco? So like just menthol or all flavors?
All flavors. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
We're focused on in menthol in particular because the federal government banned all flavors of cigarettes except for menthol, which is
Wow.
problematic because that is the cigarette flavor that's mostly used by black people who smoke.
Okay. Okay. And so what has been like your like experience talking to black folks about they menthols? Because I know I went
Hmm.
out on the streets and I interviewed some folks. I was out there on like Jefferson and Utica.
Hmm.
Then I went back out there with the good brother Jimmy Darby, and we was interviewing some folks down like Jefferson, Northland, Delavan area. And some folks was like they don't care
Yeah,
about it being banned because like they don't smoke. I know the one young person was like, I'm gonna just smoke more weed.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
they gonna ban menthol, I'm gonna just smoke weed.
Hmm.
So then also that same young man was like, I'm gonna just hit my vape then. So
Hmm.
Jimmy had to explain it led to vapes too. But then some folks was like, I don't want y'all to ban it. Y'all can't
Right.
ban it. Like what I'm gonna smoke. I'm gonna find it, I'm gonna smoke it. So what would you say to like that person that's like that maybe don't want you to ban menthol
Hmm.
in the city of Buffalo because they are menthol cigarette smokers?
Right. I mean, I would say that it's more so related to just the history of how it became how it became in black communities. I would just kind of point out that the fact that a lot of us smoke menthol cigarettes isn't a coincidence. It came to it boils down to very aggressive, very systematic tobacco industry marketing. So I would talk about things like for example, I don't know if you're familiar with the Cool Jazz Festival.
Yeah,
That used to be a huge thing.
yeah.
That was all about selling cigarettes to black people using black culture. The
Wow.
same with any other like hip hop or rap events that were sponsored by Cool Cigarettes or Newport. It was all about getting us hooked to menthol cigarettes, as well as even having people in the community, even having people from the tobacco industry that give them out for free to people in the black community. That was another thing, and just growing up with all the print media,
Yep.
Essence magazine, Jet magazine, Ebony
Yeah.
magazine, really a bunch of just tobacco ads in there too. So I'd say it's not about punishing or targeting black people in particular. It's about addressing an issue that was kind of forced upon the black community, but through systematic marketing and very very sly tactics. And and again, I mean, even if the ban does go into effect, you wouldn't be punished for having it in your possession.
It's good to know.
It's more so about retail and manufacture. That's what's being targeted. Because technically, even if the ban does go into effect, people could still get menthol cigarettes from the Seneca version, for example.
Hmm.
That
Hmm.
they have sovereignty, so that
Yeah.
wouldn't be touched. But we just want to make it harder for people to initiate smoking menthol because the youth that do smoke cigarettes they start with menthol cigarettes because they're
Yeah.
easier to smoke. It's not as harsh. It sweetens the poison.
It's probably more accessible too because the adults around them
Yeah.
probably have it, so it's familiar to them.
Yeah, so that and also like again with little cigars and other flavored tobacco products that may be more appealing to youth, like making sure that those don't have the flavors that make them more appealing and harder to quit. So
Gotcha.
yeah, so and we'd also if we do get the ban through, we also want to help people quit. We also want to follow that up with providing resources, like for example the New York State Smokers Quit line. They provide free nicotine patches, nicotine lozenges, free
Yeah.
counseling, and just kind of connecting the community with all types of resources that were that are not really promoted very well.
Because it is definitely something that's like challenging any sort of addiction because it is addiction. But just want to reiterate what the good brother Dr. Lawson is saying. This is not something that's going to criminalize the
No.
people who are using menthol related products. This is basically a ban for like the retailers, so they can't sell them in the stores. So this is not going to lead to more stop and frisk. This is not going to lead to more police interactions or police contact amongst black people and law enforcement, right?
Right, right. But again, that narrative that you're mentioning that's been spread widely by the tobacco industry and tobacco industry allies to essentially take advantage of legitimate black fears about policing
Yeah.
and use that as a way to keep menthol cigarettes on the shelf so they can continue making money and and again continue profiting from our deaths because about 45,000 black people die each year from smoking related illnesses, and a big part of that is menthol cigarettes and other flavored tobacco products like little
Oh
cigars.
man,
And
man.
I guess a way of looking at it is again they make a profit off of it. it doesn't matter how many people die from it in their eyes, as long as they're able to make a profit off of it, and they can
Mhm.
replace that generation that dies with the next generation.
Right.
Which again, with the flavor component, you have to replace them with your kids.
Yeah.
That's because you have to keep on. You have to keep the market going.
Right, because I see a lot of young people like with the vape. So one of the things that we did, part of the No Menthol Buffalo campaign was we got together. It was me, brother Jimmy Darby, Jamie and Utsi, Letitia Randall, Davon Patterson, Anna Stearns. We did over at Harvest House. So we had some young people come
Mhm.
in and we talked to young people about smoking and menthol, and that's when they was really like, we don't smoke no cigarettes, like
Yeah.
we got vapes and highs and geek bars, but they got fake highs and fake geek bars. And it was cool because one of the participants, her mom was also one of the adults in the room. So when she got to talking, because she was a very articulate young lady,
Yeah. Yeah.
so she got to talking. Her mom was like, "What's a geek bar? What you geeked up? What you geeking on?" Like her mom was tripping, but it was like we need those kinds of
Right.
conversations
Right.
because the parents don't know what the young people are into. They might be thinking, "Oh, my kid don't smoke cigarettes,"
Right.
but
Right.
not knowing that like they vape, they ain't
Hmm.
smoking. And I think like that presents a whole different group of like challenges.
Right.
Um, yeah, vaping is very interesting. I went on, I went out to on a date basically
Hmm.
with a young lady, and she had that vape in her hand the whole night, and it was
Yeah.
just kind of like a turn off.
Hmm.
Like it was just like you ain't gonna let that vape go. Like
Yeah.
it's so I think just in my experience, like the vape is probably more detrimental than cigarettes
Hmm.
because you can vape pretty much anywhere.
Hmm.
At least with a cigarette, it's indoor bans. It's a
Hmm.
smell that gives off, so
Hmm.
it's noticeable. But I know young people and people that just hit a vape anywhere,
Hmm.
hit a vape in the bed when
Hmm.
you wake up type stuff. So I think the vapes present a different challenge because they're more accessible to people. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, how vapes are now is how cigarettes used to be, where you could, use them anywhere almost. I mean, there are some places that have restrictions against vaping, but largely you can vape in, most places.
Yeah.
So it does present a different challenge because even with vapes, there's a black market. There's also like what's called a gray market where you have these
What's
store.
that?
So the black market, those are illegal vapes that you can kind of get, I guess, like online or for someone else like a dealer. The gray market refers to like places that look legitimate, like a storefront,
Okay.
but they're selling like really, really kind of illegitimate, like dangerous, like kind of black market vapes that aren't really regulated.
Okay. Yeah, because I know the other thing, not to pivot too far, but I know some of the other thing that the young people are doing, it was like that huffing the like was that it's not spray paint, but I know that's what folks used to do
Hmm.
back in the day. Like we established earlier, we the same age.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like back
yep,
in our day,
yeah,
they was huffing spray paint
yeah.
and stuff like that. But they got I don't know what it's called, but it's like them crazy little cans and it's like fake air, fake gas. So like it's
Hmm.
in them kind of like I know it's a few of those stores that's like fake smoke shops.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Fake smoke shop. There's a lot of those, and it's an issue with just again, it's the gray market. Like for example, like stores that are supposed to be able to legally sell weed.
Okay.
There's some that have the stamp or the sticker that says it's regulated by the Office of Cannabis Management. There are
Yeah.
others that don't have that, and
Uh,
they sell tobacco products, and they sell vapes, and like they sell cannabis, but it's not, you don't know where it came from. It's not regulated, so
right, right.
it comes with its own risks.
Okay. Cool. So you're a researcher. So like what like has your research been like really focused on and what have been some of your most interesting findings? Because
Hmm.
I love to read and listen to researchers talk about their research. I feel smart when I'm listening to folks like you. So yeah, what's been the focus and what have been some of your findings?
Okay, that's like one of the first times I ever heard someone say they like listening to researchers talk. So that's good.
Yeah.
But so the main survey that we've had going on, and it's been going on for about a year, was the menthol ban survey, where we're kind
Okay.
of looking at Buffalo residents' attitudes related to the menthol ban,
Okay.
and you get a sense of, like, for example, questions like, do you think that the menthol ban would make people make quit attempts, or do you support a ban on the retail sale of menthol cigarettes? Do you support menthol cigarettes or cigarettes not being sold nearby schools or
Right.
places that are frequented by kids? And so we asked about 453 people, Buffalo residents, those questions, And the surprising results was that when it came to like supporting the retail the ban on the retail sale of menthol cigarettes, about 70+% people strong supported it.
Wow.
The same was true about there's a question about imposing consequences on retailers and manufacturers that sell
Hmm.
nearby schools,
Hmm.
but about 70% supported that as well. And about 70% also believe that banning menthol will make it easier for some people to quit.
Ah,
So
that's
those are some of the major takeaways, and we made sure to survey a lot. Like the majority of the survey respondents were Black people, of course, because this community is largely affected. And we did different age groups. We had young, middle aged, older, different education backgrounds.
to be able to categorize the data, so like you can be able to parse out what somebody may want to ask you about. So what are young people's ideas
Hmm.
and attitudes, or middle age young? Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Um,
And we also looked at we also looked at little cigar use too.
okay.
And we got zip code data. So at the
Ah,
community forum, I'm going to put up a map that shows like the different zip codes we hit, and the brighter colors show where the most of the people came from. So you can kind of get a sense of the different zip codes in Buffalo that we went to get the data from.
and are you able to do any like map overlays that show correlations between the individuals who engage in menthol use and like lung cancer, heart
Mm,
disease, those kinds of things? You can do like a map overlay.
maybe we could. Yeah, we could probably get some of that data from Roswell. They
Yeah,
have data about lung cancer rates.
yeah, because then you could just draw like the core. I love, again, I'm a
Yeah,
nerd like that. I
yeah,
like
yeah,
maps and charts and stuff.
yeah. Good. Yeah.
Folks don't know that about me, but I really do.
Come to the community forum. We're
Yeah.
going to be showing up maps and
But
charts.
yeah, I'm gonna be there Tuesday. Oh yeah, so speaking of that, this is live streaming right now. So it's gonna be November what, the 12th?
November 12th. It's 5:45 at 901 Michigan Avenue.
Cool. Make sure y'all are there if y'all watching this on the live stream.
No, no, or 907. Sorry, 907 Michigan Avenue.
907 Michigan Avenue, Tuesday, November 12th, 5:45 to 7 p.m. Make sure
Mm-hmm.
you're there. And if you're watching this live, if you're watching this after the event, that's cool too. We had a great time. And the video for that event is uploaded on the channel as well for the recap. Um, but yeah, so just really just curious also in terms of like research, have you been able to talk to any of the store owners? Because I
Mm-hmm.
know that's what me and Jimmy did in our video series, which is also up on the YouTube channel as well. When we went and we talked to two different store owners, because first of all,
Right.
the store owners wouldn't even give us an interview.
Right.
The one store owner, he actually got the joint right across the street. My man Rocky
Mm-hmm.
at Golden Corner, which
Golden
is like,
Corner. Yep.
yeah, one of the best, healthiest corner stores in the city of Buffalo.
I've heard.
Um, he doesn't sell tobacco products,
Mm-hmm.
and he hasn't sold tobacco products for over a decade.
Still in business.
Yes, and thank you.
Yeah.
Doing well in business.
Mm-hmm.
And his main reasoning behind that was morally,
Yeah.
as a Muslim man,
Yeah.
he didn't feel like it was ethical or righteous
Right.
to be able to sell these products that like he doesn't consume, his
Mm-hmm.
religion doesn't allow him to consume. So why would he then sell and perpetuate them?
Right.
And then when we went down to the other store, uh, they were pretty much not wanting to be on camera,
Mm-hmm.
kind of deflected and just saying like it's making money.
Yeah.
And so I'm just curious, like, have you had any participation from like store owners,
Mm-hmm.
and like surveyed them to what they think about banning menthol in the city of Buffalo?
Not yet, but that could be a future project. Especially if enough store owners are interviewed, we would go through the transcripts and do some what's called qualitative data analysis and kind of pull out some of the main themes of what they're saying, and report that out to get a sense of like what are the main objections, what are their viewpoints regarding the legislation.
All right.
So that could be a future research project.
Okay.
Yeah, because right now our main project is trying to you know come up with a report for the menthol ban survey, and also present it at various community forums. But after we're done with that, then we can maybe move to looking at store owner attitudes.
Got you. Got you. Got you. Got you. Okay. Cool. So yeah, is there anything else that like you would like folks to know
Hmm.
about how they can support the work that No Menthol Buffalo is doing?
Yeah, so I'll just kind of break it down. So no menthol Buffalo is a youth led, community led organization. We have a website that's no menthol bflo.org. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. Just type in no menthol Buffalo into Google, and you'll put with Facebook or Instagram, it'll pop right up.
Okay.
And yeah, just reach out to us on there if you're interested in being a part of it, because we're always looking for new people, and we welcome a variety of skill sets. Everyone has something to contribute to the movement, and we'll be here for the long term. It's going to be a long fight, but we'll be here the entire time.
Cool, cool. Is there any other updates to like events that they can come to? So we want y'all to come check out No Menthol Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Support No Menthol Buffalo. Go to the website. It's nomentholbuffalo.org,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
No Menthol Buffalo.
No menthol BFLO
BFLO.org.
.org.
Because I
Yep.
know I was typing the whole word buffalo.com and I was messing. I'm like, well, where the website at? So it's no menthol, BFLO.org. Um, and I know we have the event that's coming up on the 12th, and there was one other event that you want to talk
Yeah.
about. I want you to talk about.
Yeah. There's an upcoming event called the Great American Smokeout, and that's
Yeah.
actually that was actually organized by the I believe it's the American Heart Association or Cancer Association, but it, okay. but the purpose of the event is to kind of get people to quit, get them to set up quit plans, and kind of support those quit goals. Essentially,
Okay.
to kind of a whole event about just encouraging people to to quit smoking, and just to support that journey, because it is a process. So that's going to be on the Michigan Street corridor, actually. So
Okay.
we'll have more details about that coming soon. It'll be posted
Awesome.
on the social media pages. But yeah, we'll be doing our own event there.
Cool.
An event that's passed that was really big was the No Menthol Buffalo menthol funeral.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it
we
was
had
part of that.
yeah, yeah, we had it right in front of City Hall. Essentially, we had a casket full of tobacco products, mostly menthol products and flavored, like other flavored tobacco products. We had faith leaders give eulogies, kind of saying your farewell to menthol. We also had people give testimonials about how they were impacted by menthol, which
Yep,
were
yep.
really powerful. Live music. There were food trucks there. It,
Yeah, it was an event. It was like an actual funeral with a wake and with a
mm-hmm,
repast. Um, as our community continues to shovel more dirt,
mm-hmm.
and bury this thing called menthol that's been terrorizing our community. Also, the video for that I produced and
Mm-hmm.
directed, and that's up on YouTube as well. So just get on YouTube and search hashtag No Menthol Buffalo, No Menthol BFLO, and all the work that we've been doing will pop up. So yeah, is there anything else that you want to share, brother, before we get you on up out of here?
Um, Nothing else. I mean, if you want to see the video, come to the community forum. We'll be showing the video from the
Oh yeah.
the No Menthol Buffalo funeral at the community forum. It's 907 Michigan Avenue. It's
Yep.
Roswell Park Community Engagement and Outreach Center.
Cool, cool.
Yep.
And so, where can people follow you on the social medias, on the internets, and to support the work that you're doing and become a fan of the doctor, the good doctor?
I mean, I mean, you can follow me, although my page, so my page is kind of
Don't be modest.
it's very different from No Menthol Buffalo. My page is mostly
Gotcha.
it's mostly bird photography. But
Oh.
I mean, if you're into that, it's the elusive underscore black underscore birder. Yeah.
Oh,
So
we're gonna have to have the brother back and talk about that.
yeah,
Cause
because I do want to get more black and brown people into bird watching. That's my separate project.
got you. That's very interesting. I
Yeah.
will say this. I've lived near Delaware Park for like the last 3 years.
Uh huh.
And I did not start. I don't know if I really consider myself a bird watcher,
You
but
can be.
like
Yeah.
I've bird watched
Yeah.
since because like I'm like, wait, that's kind of bird, but that's a different kind of bird.
Yep.
And like I've noticed myself noticing the different kind of birds that we have in our area. I'm
You're a
like,
bird watcher then.
yeah, okay, cool. Bad, bad. So yeah, man. So again, us black men, man, we dynamic. Like
Mm-hmm.
somebody once said, like a black man or men in general, but I ain't never been no other kind of man besides a black man
Yeah.
before. But us black men, like we are like a onion.
Mm-hmm.
We are layered and layered and layered, and you peel back enough of them layers, you might start crying. But like we have so many layers to us. So like the brother is a doctor, the brother is doing research on menthol, trying to save the community, but also the brother is a bird watcher, and like all these things can be true. So, just let that be another example to you young men out there, and just men in general. Don't let nobody pigeonhole you on what a healthy man is or what a man looks like. You got different versions of manhood. Create your own recipe for what it looks like. Just don't harm nobody out here in the community, and you straight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Word. So any last words, motivations for the folks?
Just just follow us on our socials, and we'll be around.
Cool. Well, this has been another episode of Igniting Hope Radio. I am one of your co-hosts, Sherman Webb, Middlebrooks, a lifelong Buffalo resident and full-time black man. I want to thank you all for joining us. Make sure you share this video with somebody who can find value. Make sure you click that like button. Make sure you subscribe and hit the little bell so you know when we going live like this, or you know when we post. And just stick tuned, stay tuned with us, man. We're gonna have more of these community conversations, bringing you more influential people in the Buffalo, Western New York community. So if you want to know what's going on, this is your place. This is the source to find out the who and the what's happening in the city of Buffalo. All right, y'all. Y'all take care of yourselves and each other. Peace. All right.
Cool.
Okay. Okay.